Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I am so happy you are here. You are all here. I am Lisa and this is Creativity and Inspiration. It has been a hot minute since I have been in front of this camera. I can't believe it's been so long. I've never gone this long. But if you've been following my journey with my husband, he's been back in the hospital again. So, of course, my focus has been there, most certainly, where it should be. I was getting ready to do you guys a video last week, and I ended up in the ER with just the most weird thing ever. So, I had an ovarian cyst. Not too much information, I promise. It was just strange. I mean, I used to have them all the time when I was younger. It'd been a hot minute again, but you know, life throws curveballs at you when you least expect them, and it's not how you think about them, it's how you deal with them. So I have decided I've taken care of myself. It's now Sunday. I'm feeling better, and I wanted to do a video. I've been dying to do a video for you guys. This isn't a super detailed or super long video, but I think it's a video that people like to see. New beginners in junk journals and paper crafting in general will, I think, appreciate this video. As of course some of you seasoned veterans will as well, because it's always nice to see what other crafters are using when they create, or at least I think so. I love to hear why you use things, what you're using, how you use it, maybe use it differently than its intended meaning. So let's just jump into this and get started. Today, obviously, we are talking junk journal tools, the necessities versus some things you just might want. Are they worth it? In my opinion, maybe not in yours. And we can, have a discussion down in the comments after I share what I use and what I think is very important to me in my process. Tell me what's different or what you have that's very important to you in your process. I would love to know. I might find some new tools, and you might find some new tools as well. So, we're going to start with the basics, because if you're a beginner, you don't know hardly what you're doing. I didn't when I started. I think I was the most lost I'd ever been, ever starting any type of craft, honestly. So the things I got when I first started doing junk journals that were super helpful to me, and that's what I'm going to share with you now. And the first was a paper cutter. Now this one is a Cricut paper cutter, but it can be any brand of paper cutter out there. I know some like the handles that come down, a guillotine hand paper trimmer, that's great. This is one of the ones that slides like that. Whatever style you like, and whatever you can afford when you're first purchasing is what you should get. I think there are pluses and minuses to both kinds. And personally, my budget being what it is, I'll just take what I can afford. And it works great as long as I keep the little blade sharp. So you gotta have a paper trimmer if you're working with paper crafts. That's like a no-brainer, right? Also, a mat to cut on and mark on is very, very important. And I like a hard one. It gives, but it's still very firm, so I'm not cutting through it, which also, to me, is very important as well. Some smaller tools that I find very important, of course, is a bone folder. I like to get, if I'm folding a pocket or if I'm folding an envelope, making anything that I want it to stay folded, I think a bone folder is one of the most important tools you can have. And again, it's very affordable. Corner rounders. You gotta have a corner rounder. And I've had this thing forever. I got this during Creative Memories thing when people were doing home parties. And I bought this at a home party. And in fact, I have two. And it's been so long. But I keep it sharp by using the trick of putting the foil in it, doing that, and it keeps the blade sharp. So that is a good corner rounder. I know there are more expensive versions. There's the Crocodile that does like all these different things. I don't have one. It's too big for my hands. And I think that's important too when you're looking at beginning junk journaling, or even if you're getting into intermediate, you're moving over that hump of beginner into intermediate, or pro and you're looking at different tools, think about the size of your hand. Because some of those tools are so big that using them would literally take 2 hands, or it's just uncomfortable. Maybe you can't do it, or it hurts your hand, whatever. Please always, always think about you personally. We're all different. What we like is all different. So just because you see your favorite creator out there using a crocodile, they're expensive. So make sure it meets all of your needs, including, do you think you could use it? So a corner rounder, bone folder, cutting mat, paper trimmer, good old pair of scissors, regular scissors, not my fabric scissors now, just a good old pair of paper scissors, wax thread, some type of glue, and you like what you like, I like what I like, but some type of glue, and some type of double-sided tape if you want to use double-sided tape. This, to me, doing videos especially, is super important. Maybe not so much for you if you don't do videos, or if you don't like tape, you just want to do glue, that's fine. I will say, do not use double-sided tape if you plan on sewing over something that you've taped down. It will muck up your sewing machine. And that brings me to sewing machine. I have actually a sewing machine that does embroidery and everything. How I use it on both, I switch out the needles. If I'm using a needle on paper, I change it and do not use that needle on fabric because it's going to tear up the fabric. So that's how I keep it separate. I also do maintenance on my machine and keep it in very good working order. It allows me to do that. Maybe you don't have a sewing machine, you don't sew, you're not looking for a big expense. Amazon does have some really affordable small sewing machines, like travel sewing machines that are great for paper crafting. So check out those and find the one that you think will do what you want it to do and fit within your budget. Something else that I think is important when you start all this is maybe having a pair of fun scissors. And I've told you this before. I got these in a estate sale, and they were in one of those plastic tubs. But Amazon, Walmart, Joann's, any of those places has them. And they just have the different blades on them. And I think when you're doing a lot of pockets, tags, tuck spots, journaling cards, belly bands, all that stuff, you want different shapes. I think a set of these fun scissors with their different borders is a good investment. Now we're going into kind of, maybe not beginner, but kind of next level. Oh, wait. Another beginner tool that's, I think, really important is some sort of circle punch. I have a 1 inch that's just a round circle. This is a 2 inch, and it's like a ruffledy circle. But still, I think having a good hole punch is also important. My battery. Some other fun, I want to say like next level, is I have an envelope little thing that helps me fold an envelope. I've showed you before. I think that's a great tool to have. A border punch, I like doing that. It changes up the pages, so I think that's important to have. But again, these are like when you've kind of gone from beginner to intermediate, and you're going to see if you're going to stick with it. Because investing in anything, you have to have a commitment to it, at least somewhat. Something else I love is this crimper. I got this. It's great for making little party sacks. It makes, you can make custom party sacks for your journals. You can make just some ribbed paper. So I love this crimper, and, it was on Amazon. So all this, you can look up on Amazon. Die cuts, stamping. Stamping is very important because when you don't have a lot of money, watercolor paints. You go to the Dollar Tree, you buy a set of watercolors. That's an important tool to have. Okay, so all of these things that maybe you don't look at as tools are really tools when it comes to creating junk journals, planners, cards, anything, because it's going to help you alter your paper, okay? Paper, the different types of paper, scrapbook paper, copy paper, whether you make coffee dyed paper, plain paper, whatever. Those are all tools, and how you manipulate them is important, and what you manipulate them with is also tools. Again, your stamps, your markers, your Dollar Tree watercolor paint set. It doesn't have to be expensive. These are all tools. Now, as you get better and you find you have maybe preferences you like to paint besides just use paint in your journals, then you may invest in a little more paint, expensive type paints. Or maybe you are making so many journals and you're selling them, so you invest in a little better tools. But just keep in mind, all of these tools are great and they don't have to cost a fortune. Some specialized tools do, but you don't have to have specialized unless you just want it. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're just starting, you don't have to have anything specialized. You can have the very basics that I listed at the beginning of this video. Everything's listed down below, of course, by basic, a little bit intermediate, or what I deem a little bit more intermediate. And by intermediate, I mean not your skill level, but like your investment level. And again, if you wanted to look at a Crop-A-Dile, the big thing with those is I say, one, they are costly. Make sure, it fits within what you do and that you can use it. Anyway, guys, I know this was super short and I just kind of wanted to touch on all these things. And I wanted to tell you again, I'm so sorry. Today is Sunday. I will have a new video up for you guys on Tuesday. I'll see you then. Bye, guys. Take care.